In this lecture, I am starting with barbiturates and Z-drugs. Barbiturates belong to a class of drugs known as sedative hypnotic drugs. Sedative hypnotic drugs are a class of drugs that causes sedation, anxiolysis, and unconsciousness with increasing dosages. These are CNS depressant drugs. Barbiturates are classified according to their duration of action as ultra short acting, and long acting. Ultra short acting include thiopental, short acting include secobarbital, and long acting include phenobarbital. Receptors involved in the action of these drugs are GABA receptor complexes. These are macromolecular complexes consisting of 2 alpha, 2 beta, and 1 gamma subunit. Alpha subunit attaches GABA, beta subunit attaches barbiturates, and benzodiazepine attaches to the gamma subunit of these GABA receptor complexes. These are ligand-gated ion channel. Whenever a ligand attaches to one of these subunits, these ligand-gated ion channel opens, causing the influx of chloride ions and resulting in hyperpolarization of cells. Therefore, these receptors are of inhibitory in nature. Mechanism of action of barbiturates. When barbiturates attaches to the beta subunit of GABA receptor complexes, they open the ligand-gated ion channel. Influx of chloride ions and influx of chloride ions results in the hyperpolarization of cells. Whereas when benzodiazepine attaches to the gamma subunit of GABA receptor complexes, they require the binding of GABA to the alpha subunit of GABA receptor complexes to cause the opening of the ion channel. This does not happen with barbiturates. That is why they have GABA mimetic activity. Because GABA, when attaches to the alpha subunit, it will not require the binding of any additional ligand to any of its subunits to exert the effect. They also block the AMPA and kainate receptors of glutamic acid, and glutamic acid is major excitatory neurotransmitter in the brain. Therefore, they have CNS depressant effect which can cause medullary depression and coma. This graph shows the effect of increasing the dosages of sedative hypnotic drugs on central nervous system. As blue line shows the linear effect of the barbiturates. When the dosage of barbiturates increases, it causes increase in the depressant CNS effects. And barbiturates shows linear CNS depressant effect with increasing the dosages. And as shown by the red line, benzodiazepine shows plateau effect. This graph also shows some different stages of the effects caused by the sedative hypnotic drugs. First effect is always sedation and anxiolysis. Disinhibition means excitation. Then comes hypnosis, then anesthesia. Anesthesia means loss of consciousness without response to pain. Then comes medullary depression, and ultimately it results in coma. With the induction of anesthesia onwards, patient will require respiratory support to maintain life. Pharmacokinetics, absorption and distribution. These drugs have good lipid solubility. They are taken orally, and because of the good lipid solubility, they have good brain distribution. We have a drug known as thiopental, which is ultra short acting, and it is very lipid soluble and have good brain distribution, and it is distributed to brain within seconds, and whereas it is redistributed from brain to highly perfused tissues such as skeletal muscles. That is why it is ultra short acting, and this thiopental is used for induction of anesthesia. These drugs have good GI absorption. Metabolism. Most of these drugs are taken up by liver and converted into active metabolites. Some of the drugs are taken up by liver, and they are conjugated and converted into conjugated compounds and are secreted in bile. We have a drug known as phenobarbital, which is long-acting barbiturate, and that is excreted unchanged in the urine. And the importance of these drugs are that these drugs are inducers of liver enzymes. They are inducers of P450 uses. Phenobarbital is a long-acting barbiturate that is used as an anti-seizure agent in pregnant lady, used for afebrile seizures in children, and for tonic-clonic seizures. And we have a drug known as thiopental, as I have already told, that is used for the induction of anesthesia. And we have also another drug known as secobarbital, which is short-acting barbiturate, and that is used for the purposes of sedation and insomnia. But this use is largely replaced by benzodiazepines and other drugs because of the greater abuse and dependence liability of these barbiturates. Side effects and toxicity. Cognitive impairment is the major side effect of these drugs. They impair psychomotor function. They have additive CNS depressant effect with alcoholic beverages, antihistamines, antipsychotics, opioids, and tricyclic antidepressants. They have severe respiratory and cardiovascular depression, and ultimately these drugs have potential to cause metabolic depression and coma. Management of toxicity. The major setback there is that these drugs do not have any antidote, um, and the management of toxicity is entirely supportive. As these drugs are severely respiratory and cardiovascular depressant, so we have to maintain the maintenance. We have to maintain cardiac function, and we have to maintain the patent airway. And for the maintenance of patent airway, sometimes ventilatory support or mechanical intubation sometimes becomes necessary. Chronic use results in tolerance and dependence. Uh, Cross tolerance also occurs when they are taken with some other drugs like benzodiazepines. Two types of dependence occurs: physical and physiological. Physiological dependence means that patient craves for the drug, and physical dependence means that bodily functions of the patient becomes dependent of the drug. Withdrawal signs. Withdrawal signs are exactly opposite of the effect that drug is causing. Drug is used for anxiolysis purposes, anti-seizure drugs. Therefore, withdrawal of the drug will result in anxiety, agitation, restlessness, and seizures. And the management of these withdrawal signs is extremely supportive. As I have already told, that maintenance of cardiovascular function and maintenance of respiratory function and long-acting benzodiazepines are also required to maintain these withdrawal signs. Contraindications. These drugs are contraindicated in elderly patients, patients with respiratory problems, as these drugs are already respiratory depressant drugs, and they are contraindicated in pregnancy. We have another contraindication in case of these drugs, which is porphyrias. They are contraindicated in acute intermittent porphyrias because they can they can precipitate the attack of acute intermittent porphyrias, because these drugs are inducers of liver enzymes, and they induce the enzyme known as alpha aminolevulinic acid, which is involved in the metabolism of porphyrins. Therefore, they are contraindicated in porphyrias. We have a class of drugs known as Z drugs. Z drugs, these are non-benzodiazepine drugs. They are only BC1 receptor agonist. Let's recall that benzodiazepines act through two receptors, BZ1 and BZ2. BZ1 receptor mediate sedation and BZ2 receptor mediate anxiety. So these drugs are agonist of BZ1 receptor, and BZ1 receptor, as I have already told, mediate sedation. Therefore, they are particularly useful for the treatment of insomnia, and they are useful for sedative purposes. They have no anxiolytic effect. These drugs are zolpidem, zaleplon, eszopiclone. Uses They are mainly used for sleep disorders, and their advantage is that they have less abuse liability and less dependence liability. And we have also an advantage that their overdosage is reversed by flumazenil, as flumazenil is benzodiazepine receptor antagonist at both BZ1 and BZ2 receptors. They are taken orally, and they are for P450 substrates. They are taken up by liver and converted into metabolites for usage, and they have additive CNS depressants because they are CNS depressants, and whenever they are used with other CNS depressant drugs like barbiturates and benzodiazepines, they will exert additional CNS depressant effects, and they have short half-lives. Because of their shorter half-lives, they have their effect limited to certain time, and they will not cause unwanted daytime sedation. With this, I conclude today's lecture. Thank you for watching. If you like this lecture, please share and subscribe.